Hey there guys, welcome back to AFC Game by Game. This is my preview for the match tomorrow against Cardiff City. First and foremost, just want to say apologies that I couldn't get this out any earlier in the week. It's just been a bit of a busy one for me, but I still wanted to let you know my thoughts ahead of the game tomorrow against Neil Warnock's side that I think is going to be a lot more difficult than a lot of Arsenal fans are expecting. It's not quite the walkover fixture that we're all going into this game anticipating it will be, and maybe it's a bit naive of me to say that a lot of Arsenal fans are thinking that given the way we've played this season, no game's going to be an easy one. But Cardiff away, you look at that on paper and you think Arsenal should be picking up 3 points there, but I really don't think it's going to be as straightforward as that. They've kept 2 clean sheets on the bounce against Newcastle and Huddersfield respectively, so they're a team that are hard to break down, and with Neil Warnock at the helm, we all know how much of a rugged manager he can be and how difficult they're going to make the game for us. I'm expecting a very close affair, to be honest. I don't think this is going to be a 3-4-0 win for Arsenal. As much as I'd like it to be, I don't think this is going to be the game where we see that glamorous performance. I'd love it to be. I'd love to think that we can go there and put in that kind of display, but realistically, I think we're looking at a cagey 1 or 2-0 win. But if we keep defensively sound at the back, if we're looking a bit more reassuring in the midfield, then I've got no real issues with that. I just want to see us look a lot more composed along that back line, because so far, especially against West Ham last week, it was so evident how many problems we've got there. When Torreira came on, I thought he changed the game and we looked a lot more compact at the back, so I think it's a no-brainer for me that he's got to start. And I think he's one of the few changes that have to be made in this game. I'd be looking to take Guendouzi out of the team, not drop him as such, but I think it's correct that we manage him and look to bring Torreira in. I think at the start of the season, we never really would have expected Guendouzi to be playing ahead of Torreira, and now I think that's been a surprise for Emery as well. So now I think he'll look to bring in Torreira, who seemed to impress off the bench so far, and bring a bit more defensive stability to the side. And then ahead of them, I think it's a no-brainer that Lacazette's got to start, given the way he's linking up with Aubameyang. I'd be really surprised if Emery is reluctant to play those two together, just given the way they play so well and link up together. We've got these 2 fantastic players, and to have one of them on the bench, they're just too good to be on the bench in my opinion. And the way we play, with a lack of width as well, I don't think it does us any harm to play these players, because it's not really harming us defensively any more than we're currently being harmed defensively anyway. But as I say, if we can look a lot more composed at the back, going to Cardiff away and getting a result will be fantastic for us. And if we can get 2 wins from this one run of winnable fixtures we've got, that will set us in really good stead for winning even more games, hopefully, which I'm confident we can do. Hopefully the players can get a bit more adjusted to Emery's system. It is all taking time, but 2 wins on the spin will just breed confidence within the team, especially after what has been a very tough start to Arsenal's season. And I'm really looking forward to this game. It's as I say, it's a fixture that I think will be tough, but it's a fixture that nonetheless I'm looking forward to. I don't know a great deal about Cardiff City. I don't know a great deal about their danger men, but what I do know is they are going to be hard to break down, as I've already mentioned. As always, I tweeted you asking for your team lineups, and thanks to everyone that got in touch once again. Fantastic plethora of responses. These are my 3 favourites that I'm going to get into. First up from Unai Emery. Don't think it's the real one, but gone with Leno in goal, Lichtsteiner, Mustafi, Socrates, Monreal, Torreira, Ramsey, Welbeck, Ozil, Aubameyang, and Lacazette in a 4-2-3-1 formation. The next one from AF Guna is Leno, Lichtsteiner, Mustafi, Socrates, Monreal, Torreira, Xhaka, Bellerin. Ozil was the captain, Aubameyang and Lacazette. Really interesting one, that. First of all, to have Ozil as captain and then to have Bellerin on the flank. That's something that's been spoken about recently. And then from Arsenal, Cech, Lichtsteiner, Socrates, Mustafi, Monreal, Torreira, Guendouzi, Mkhitaryan, Ozil, Aubameyang and Lacazette. Just touching on that lineup that featured Hector Bellerin on the right-hand side, we all know how good he is going forward, and I think it's becoming more and more aware now that he is our only outlet on that right-hand side. Him and Mkhitaryan are starting to build up quite the understanding. And if you look at all the goals that we scored against West Ham, they all seem to develop from that right-hand side of the pitch, with Bellerin being really at the star of that. So I think I think the criticism he's got is very much unwarranted. He's quite clearly being asked to play so high up the pitch, and he is our only real player of any width for the minute in this Arsenal side. He can't really attack and defend, but there are times where you see him just trotting back, and that's a little bit frustrating. But I think for me, to play him on that right-hand flank would be an experiment, maybe left for the League Cup. I really would like to see him play there at some point, because he is obviously so good going forward. Defensively is where the problems are. If he had a player who was a natural winger in front of him, I don't think we'd see too many issues with him at fullback, because he can overlap, the winger can come back in and defend, and you'd see that real natural width on the right-hand side, which is something we don't have in a minute. He's having to do it all himself. So I think let's leave that to the League Cup. Maybe play someone like Osei Tutu and see how he gets on with Bellerin on the right-hand side. But apart from that, we don't really have too many other right-hand sided options. Apart from Lichtsteiner, I mean, maybe that could work. But then again, Lichtsteiner, has he got the ability going forward? He's shown it in his time at Juventus, so it could be an experiment. I just don't think this is the right game to try it in. But again, all of those lineups featured Lichtsteiner, who I think is subtly a fan favourite. I do like Lichtsteiner. I liked what he brought to the game in the match against Manchester City. I don't think he'll start this game personally, but I really like what he can bring to the team. Defensively, I think he would bring a lot to our back four. I think we would see a lot more defensive solidarity with him, Torreira, in the team. I think that would really shore things up at the back. But going forward, I think we would lose something. So I'm not sure that's going to feature in this game. My personal lineup for this match, I would go with Cech in goal. I'd keep him there. At right back, I'd go with Hector Bellerin, Mustafi, Socrates. At left back, Nacho Monreal. And I'd quite like to see Arsenal play a 4-1-2-1-2 formation. So just in front of the centre halves, I'd be going with Torreira. Then just in front of him, I'd be going with Xhaka and Aaron Ramsey. And then in the hole behind the strikers, Mesut Ozil. And up top, I'd love to see a partnership of Lacazette and Aubameyang. Now, will that be the formation? I highly doubt it. But I just don't see any reason, whilst we've got no width in the team, that we can't play that sort of... It is narrow, but if we're getting our widths from the fullbacks anyway, I don't think that's too much of an issue. I just really want to see Aubameyang and Lacazette feature together. I think that would do the team the world of good because they do play off of each other so well. You've got the hold-up play of someone like Lacazette. You've got his lethal finishing as well. You've got his ruthlessness in front of goal. And then you've got Aubameyang who can bring that as well, but has also got the pace, makes the runs. And is another fantastic option for someone like Mesut Ozil, who I think as well has to resort to being that player. Not resort, but revert to being that player in the number 10 role where I think certainly we'll see the best of him. I don't particularly want to see Mkhitaryan and Ozil on the flanks in this game. I just think they're wasted in those positions. I'd like to see players in their natural positions, and that team for me it looks really balanced, it looks perfect. I'd love to see Torreira get a start in this game, Lacazette as well. They're the two obvious inclusions for me. Cardiff away is the perfect time to play them in my opinion. We've got the international break after this. If we can go into that break with 2 wins under our belt, that will bring so much confidence to the team when they regroup in a couple of weeks' time. So it is disappointing that there's an international break so early on into the season, but as I say, getting 2 wins under our belt after what was a disappointing start would be huge for us. So let's go to Cardiff, let's get a win. My score prediction, going to go for 2-0 to the Arsenal. Let me know your score predictions, your team lineups, and your thoughts in the game in the comments box below. Drop a like on the video if you have enjoyed it. Subscribe to AFC Game by Game. And as always, I'll speak to you very, very soon. See you later, guys.